An intentional decision to give up the modern diet is referred to as a spiritual fast. This has the advantage of helping your body get rid of pollutants and toxins. Nevertheless, it goes beyond simply avoiding pollutants and body toxins. Building interpersonal awareness leads to the advantages of spiritual fasting. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel to motivate our thought process. Cheers. Fasting is a potent and amazing experience when done in conjunction with prayer, ritual, or meditation activities. Throughout recorded history, fasts for spiritual and religious purposes have been practiced by practically all cultures and religions. This is partially due to the fact that modern science has demonstrated that fasting can promote mental clarity. Because every religion's foundational doctrine includes the custom of fasting. Before starting his ministry, Jesus went without food for 40 days and nights. Before attaining enlightenment, Buddha fasted passionately for 6 years. Before receiving the Quran for the first time, the Prophet Muhammad fasted in isolation. Indigenous societies have long included fasting as a crucial component of sacred rituals. Making one hungry for God is one of the main ideas underlying spiritual and religious fasts. One is said to be able to more readily tune into the spiritual reality that exists outside of our 5 senses by willfully ignoring physical necessities like hunger. In a similar way to an internal chant, the feeling of hunger is also employed as a reminder to pray. Fasting for spiritual and religious purposes is typically carried out to deepen one's prayer life as well as to increase spiritual awareness and foster a stronger relationship with one's God, spirit, or universe, as defined by the individual. The secondary benefit is health. What is a spiritual and religious fast? Every type of fast falls under the category of spiritual and religious fasts. They can be brief, like the once-weekly fasting practiced by Christians. They can be recurring, like Ramadan. They can also be protracted, particularly when praying for a particular goal or result. As when Hindu women fasts for their husband on Karwa Chauth, where married women observe a strict fast from sunrise till moonrise. This fast is observed for the longevity and well-being of their husbands. Religious fasts might entail complete abstinence from solids and liquids. Some saints, yogis, are claimed to have gone for weeks or years without even drinking or eating anything. Yet, these fasts frequently permit water and even a small amount of food. Why is fasting spiritually and religiously connected? Religious and spiritual fasts have a real advantage for the mind and body in addition to bringing one closer to God or the universe. A. Develop reasoning ability. According to specialists on fasting, the brain functions better during a fast. The most popular evolutionary defense of this is that, if it were the other way around, we would have lost our ability to think clearly under stress, which would have prevented us from obtaining prey and ultimately led to our extinction. We are aware that this didn't occur, and in fact, despite periods of starving in the past, we were still able to think clearly. According to studies, intermittent and extended fasting boosts neuronal turnover, the process by which aging brain cells are cleaned up. As a result, nerve impulses can fire more quickly and effectively, which improves our ability to think. B. Community overview. Fasting for spiritual and religious purposes is frequently done in groups, while it is occasionally done alone. Through their shared experience, people are brought together by their shared religious beliefs and goals, strengthening their relationships with one another. Strong social bonds and a sense of belonging, according to research, are among the most important elements in general health, happiness, and longevity. See, longevity. Oni Korea, often known as the island where people forgot to die, some of the world's oldest residents reside. The practice of religious fasting is peculiar to this small island situated halfway between the Greek and Turkish mainlands. Scientists discovered that despite having a food and way of life that were almost identical to those of the Icarians, other surrounding islands did not exhibit an increase in health and lifespan. The main distinction was that, in accordance with the Catholic religion, Icarians frequently fast up to 150 days annually. D. For metabolic wellness. Fasting of all kinds has been associated with improvements in metabolic health in 10 distinct studies. Fasters have lower weight, insulin levels, and blood sugar levels than persons who follow a typical diet. Diabetes cases have been totally restored in fasted monkeys, according to prominent fasting researchers. A. Spiritual and religious fasts hazards. Spiritual and religious fasts involve risks, much like any other fasting practice, however the majority are not serious. You can anticipate these typical side effects whether you observe 24-hour fasts once a week, dawn to dark fasts or during Ramadan. This can include headache, weariness, lightheadedness, irritability, arrhythmia, dehydration, and chill. How to complete a religious or spiritual fast. These few paragraphs cannot adequately explain how to observe spiritual and religious fasts. Volumes of books must be written in that regard. But, we'll mention a few of the most fundamental truths that most readers may relate to. Fasts of Lent. Some fasts require giving up a specific vice or comfort for 40 days, which corresponds to Jesus Christ's fast before beginning his ministry. This could entail abstaining from TV, chocolate, alcohol, or other things. Christians also observe a weekly fast on Fridays, which can be either a vegetarian or vegan fast. Ramadan involves fasting. Fasting during Ramadan might be more challenging due to the limitations on food and liquid intake. Yet, it's not all that horrible because you are allowed to eat and drink till you are satisfied before sunrise and again after nightfall. This equates to abstaining from all food and drink for 12 hours. Ramadan is a unique fast since it skips the regular 8-hour window of opportunity for fasting while you sleep. Fasts for prayer. In many cultures, fasting and prayer have long been closely related. Many religious and spiritual organizations encourage, lead, and support a prayer fast before making a major decision in life, to heighten spiritual awareness to solve a difficult issue, or even to dedicate and signify a repurification before a major life event like marriage, a new job, or to deepen spiritual connection before a move or journey. Prolonged fasts for the soul. Without regard to religion, people engage in spiritual fasting for their own spiritual development and to strengthen their ties to the divine. These fasts often forbid the consumption of solid foods and can last anywhere from 1 to 40 days and longer. Mahatma Gandhi is renowned for a 21-day fast to halt bloodshed in India. Water and calorie-free drinks are okay. Any protracted fast, whether religious or not, should start with a doctor's consultation. And if you have health issues, you might want to think about a fast under medical supervision to prevent potentially dangerous side effects. Also, If you're engaging in a fasting program like a shamanic fast or journey, a guide, coach, or mentor should be available to help you through the fast, especially if it necessitates spending time alone or in a hot setting. And giving your valuable time. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to keep our motivation going. Cheers!